Every morning for 3 years, Noah's father made the same breakfast. Scrambled eggs, orange juice. The radio on the counter turned to whatever station the morning wanted to give him. And then, if the song came on, and it seemed in Noah's memory to come on almost every morning, his father would turn the volume up without saying anything. The song was "What's Love Got to Do with It?" Noah was 6 years old the first time he paid attention to it. He was 7 when he started associating it with the smell of scrambled eggs and the particular quality of morning light in their kitchen in Cleveland, Ohio. He was 8 when he understood, without being told, that the song meant something specific to his father that had nothing to do with the lyrics. He was 9 when his father left. What followed was the ordinary architecture of a life rearranged. His mother went back to work full-time. Noah went to school, came home, did homework, went to bed. The radio on the kitchen counter stayed on its station, but no one turned it up anymore. If the song came on, it came on at its regular volume, and eventually it faded into the background of everything else. Noah did not think about it consciously for a long time. Grief, at 9 years old, does not announce itself. It simply becomes part of the texture of things. The absence of scrambled eggs made by someone else. The radio left at its ordinary volume. The particular kind of morning silence that fills the space where a person used to be. He grew up. He went to college in another city. He met a woman named Rachel. He got a job he did not hate, and an apartment he gradually turned into a home. He married Rachel in a small ceremony in October, and they moved to a house in the same city they had met in, which was not Cleveland, and which suited them both. His father by then existed in the category of people who are still alive but not present. There had been sporadic contact over the years, birthday calls that arrived sometimes, Christmas cards that sometimes didn't. Noah had arrived through the ordinary work of time and the good fortune of having married someone who asked useful questions at something that was not forgiveness exactly, but was a kind of settled understanding that had allowed him to stop carrying the weight of it daily. He did not think about the song. His son was born when Noah was 36 years old. They named him Eli. He was, from the first morning, the kind of baby who woke early, alert and demanding and full of a hunger for the world that showed no signs of being satisfied by simply existing in it quietly. Noah was the morning parent. Rachel slept in when she could. He would lift Eli from the crib at 6, carry him to the kitchen, and begin the business of breakfast with one arm occupied and the other doing what it could. He did not plan what happened next. It was not a decision in any conscious sense. It was the particular way that the body sometimes moves towards something the mind has not yet caught up with. He turned on the radio. He did not think about what station. He turned the dial to something and left it. He settled Eli into the high chair. He started the eggs. The song came on 8 minutes into the morning. Noah stood at the stove with a spatula in his hand and did not move for a moment. Eli looked at him from the high chair with the focused curiosity of a 10-month-old encountering a new piece of information about the world. Noah turned the volume up. What happened in him in the 3 minutes and 48 seconds that followed was not something he could have predicted. It was not grief, exactly, or it was grief of a kind that had composted into something different over 30 years, something that no longer had the sharp edges of the original, but retained the shape. It was the specific experience of understanding something you have been carrying without knowing you were carrying it. The song was not about love. It had never been about love, not for his father. Not, Noah understood now, with his own son in the high chair and the eggs beginning to overcook, for Tina Turner either. It was about the decision to keep going, when keeping going required you to set certain things down, to look at what you could not change, and keep moving anyway. Not because the loss didn't matter, but because stopping would not bring it back, and there was still breakfast to make, and a child to feed, and a morning that required you to be in it. He did not cry. He almost did. He felt the thing that precedes it, the specific pressure behind the eyes. But Eli chose that moment to slap both palms flat on the high chair tray and make a sound of enormous satisfaction at his own existence. And Noah laughed instead. He served the eggs. He turned the radio back to its ordinary volume. He sat across from his son and ate his breakfast. He called his mother that evening. He asked her, for the first time in his adult life, what his father had been going through in those years. She told him, carefully, honestly, with the particular generosity of someone who has had many years to arrive at a version of events that is true without being cruel. It was not a story that excused anything. It was simply a story. The story of a man who was struggling in ways he did not know how to communicate, who had made choices that damaged the people around him, who had, in those morning moments with the radio turned up, been reaching for something he could not name, who had, apparently, needed that song in the way that people sometimes need things they cannot explain. Noah did not call his father. That was not where the story went. The work of that particular relationship had its own timeline, and it was not this night. But the next morning, he turned the radio on again. He turned it to the same station. He made the same eggs. The song did not come on. Some other song came on, and then another. Eli ate his breakfast, and Noah ate his, and the morning was ordinary in the specific way that mornings become extraordinary only in retrospect. He kept the station on. The legacy of Tina Turner's music exists, officially, in the recordings, in the albums and the chart positions and the cultural moments that can be dated and cited and attached to photographs. This is the version of legacy that gets written down. But music does its real work in private, in kitchens, in the specific acoustics of ordinary rooms on ordinary mornings, in the space between a parent and a child who is too young to understand anything except that something in the room has shifted. Tina Turner made music that reached into those rooms, into thousands of kitchens across 30 years of mornings, into the places where people were working out what they were going to do next, and needed, for 3 minutes and 48 seconds, something to hold on to. Noah's son is 4 years old now. He does not know the song yet. He will. If this story reached you in a place you weren't expecting, share it with someone today. Subscribe to this channel. Leave a comment. Is there a song that belongs to a specific person in your life? We tell these stories because they deserve to be told. We'll see you in the next one.